everyone. So, where is Michael Jackson's famous chimpanzee Bubbles today? If you have watched the recent biopic Michael, probably noticed Bubbles being portrayed as one of the more unusual parts of Michael Jackson's life. And while the film keeps things fairly polished, the real story behind Bubbles is much more grounded and honestly a bit sobering. Bubbles was born in 1983 and became part of Michael Jackson's life during the peak of his fame in 1980s. Back then, Bubbles wasn't just a pet, he was practically a celebrity himself. He traveled with Jackson, appeared in public, and even joined him on tour. There are famous stories of Bubbles being present in places you would never expect a chimpanzee to be, including recording studios and high profile events. At that time, Bubbles became a symbol of Jackson's eccentric lifestyle, something that fascinated people just as much as it confused them. But here's the reality that the spotlight didn't always show. Chimpanzees, while intelligent and social, are not suited to domestic life. As they grow older, they can become significantly stronger and can develop aggressive tendencies. And that's exactly what happened with Bubbles. By the early 2000s, Bubble had grown too powerful and unpredictable to be safely kept around humans. Even Jackson himself described him as becoming pugnacious, which is a polite way of saying difficult and potentially dangerous. So eventually, the decision was made to relocate him. Today, Bubbles lives at the center for great apes in Florida, where he has been for about 2 decades, and this is where his story takes a much calmer turn. At the sanctuary, Bubbles is no longer a spectacle. He's simply an aging chimpanzee living out his life in safe, controlled environment. He's now in his early 40s, which actually makes him quite old for a chimp. In the wild, chimpanzees rarely live beyond their teens, and even in captivity, reaching this age is notable. These days, Bubble lives a quiet life. He spends most of his time resting, exploring his enclosure, and interacting with other chimps. He even formed a bond with another chimp named Oopsie, showing that despite everything, he's been able to adapt to a more natural social environment. Interestingly, despite how close they once were, there was no record of Michael Jackson visiting Bubbles after he was moved to the sanctuary. The separation seems to have been final, a reflection of how circumstances had changed. And that shift says a lot. What started as a highly public, almost surreal companionship eventually became a reminder of the challenges and consequences of keeping wildlife in human environment. Today, organizations like the Center for Great Apes focus on giving animals like Bubbles the kind of life they should have had all along, away from camera crowds and unnatural settings. Even in pop culture, Bubble still pops up occasionally as a symbol of that strange era, sometimes referenced in comedy, sometimes in documentaries, but the real Bubbles is far removed from of that now. No spotlights, no tours, no chaos, just a quiet life in Sanctuary. And honestly, that's probably the best ending his story could have had. Thank you for watching. Bye.